What's up, folks? Gonna make this one quick. Did the water pump on the 6.2 diesel. Truck's been getting hot. If this water pump doesn't fix the issue, then I have no idea what else to do, because I've changed pretty much everything on the cooling system except for the water pump, or upgraded like the electric fans. But anyways, so to take off the water pump, you need to take out the oil fill tube, which is out, which is where what that hole's for right there. These two stud bolts come out. You do not have to take off this nut, but I did, so it would be easier. I took off the whole alternator assembly, which isn't quite as difficult as you may think. You got one bolt here, you got two here, you got one here that goes to the alternator, and then the one up here to adjust, to tighten the belt. You need to loosen that one and that one. That's how you adjust it. I took off the whole bracket. I took off the hardware back here. And then the water pump, as you can see, I have a cracked water pump bracket. So I don't know if I'm going to try and weld that, or that's right there. I don't know if I'm going to try and weld it, or if I'm going to just get a new one. As of right now, it's just going to go back on, and I'll probably tack it until I can get a new one. So if we're taking off the water pump, you have to take off this whole backing plate with the water pump. It's been really easy if Chevy would have just been able to let you take off the bolts that hold in the water pump, but they don't. The bolts that actually hold in the water pump are on the back side. That's what these moldings are for. What else? Obviously, you got to drain the coolant. That's what we got down there. Take off all your bolts here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, one underneath here, 5, 6. I had to take off the crossover pipe because of this bolt right here. This was in the way. I couldn't get this off. It was on there too tight. So I just took off the cross pipe, and then you got 1, 2 for the cross pipe, another 2 for the cross pipe, and then you can get the gaskets for it. I just use gasket maker because it's kind of a tight spot, and it's a lot easier just to use the gasket maker, in my opinion. Make sure the gasket maker you get, if you're using running coolant, that the glycol doesn't damage the gaskets, the gasket maker. So you got the bolts up here, and then you got 2 on the bottom down here. Pretty easy to get to. I'm sorry, you have 3 on the bottom. You have one there, and this one right here, which is a stud bolt to take the bracket off right here. So you take all that off, I sanded down the back side of this so it's smooth. Sanded down the gasket that was stuck on here, and then again I just use gasket maker. For the water pump to this plate, I used a water pump gasket maker. I guess they're a little different formula. And then for the plate to the block, since there's oil back there, I used the oil gasket maker. I know some of them are kind of universal, but I wanted to be particular. I didn't want any leaks. Speaking of water, it's starting to rain. So that's kind of how you do it. Take off the plate, pull off the pump. You got, I don't know, like 6 bolts on the back side of the pump that you take off. You bolt this, after cleaning it off, you put some gasket maker or the gasket, bolt it back onto the plate, put the plate back on, and then you got to put back on all the accessories here, the alternator or the power steering pump. If you got AC, you were screwed. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have AC on this truck since it's an M1009, so that'll be for your own learning, I guess. So that's kind of all I got for you. Make sure you put back on, obviously, all your belts. I have to put on the pulley for the water pump here. And that's all I can think of. If you guys got any questions, feel free to comment below. Overall rating of this was probably, I don't know, like a 5 out of 10. It was pretty easy overall. It's just a little time consuming because you got to take everything apart and make sure you know which bolts go where. Note that, because a lot of these bolts are not the same length. Even these two right there, if you look, this part of the pump comes out just a hair more than this one, so this bolt's maybe, I don't know, 1/4 inch longer. So make sure you know where your bolts go, because you don't want to have to put it together, pull it apart, put it together, pull it apart. So that's what I got for you guys. Hope this helps, and yeah, make sure to follow, like, subscribe, and follow me on CUCV_page on the gram. Have a good one.